bringing a surge of energy to the airwaves. This is the Clarkcast with Matt Clark.
Broadcasting from Cincinnati, Ohio at the 2014 Tea Party Rally. Next to me are two lovely ladies, Marianne and Ann. Welcome, ladies. Welcome to the Clarkcast.
Hey, Matt. Thanks for having us.
It's a pleasure. And you're Libertarian Girl. That's the name, I think.
That is me. That is my political persona.
And how did that come about?
Started about 2 years ago, and I realized that I needed a platform to get my views on libertarianism out, so Libertarian Girl was born.
Now, let me ask you this question. I'm 27, and so I've kind of, I won't say that I've been brought up rah-rah Republican, but I think that's pretty much how, for most of my youth, that's how I was, and then I really branched off into more of the libertarian mindset in the past, let's say 4 or 5 years. Did you have a similar awakening, or were you always kind of this, nope, liberty, give me liberty or give me death kind of gal?
I think I've always been a libertarian. I just didn't know that there was a name for it. So I am a Republican, but I'm a Republican as far as my political party goes, but my political philosophy is libertarian.
Okay. What about you, Ann?
Let's see. I'm the president right now of the Cincinnati Tea Party. And I went on a really long journey. I was a stay-at-home mom. I've got 3 little kids. And I started to really feel that pressure of what is my country going to be like for my children. 2001, Speaker Boehner, who is my representative, passed No Child Left Behind.
Again, I'm sorry.
Thank you, yes.
A lot of apologies going around here.
I am. He's actually my neighbor. He lives in the neighborhood behind me, goes to my church. So Speaker Boehner he's in my hood, as they say. But
I notice you're not as orange as he is, so apparently you don't go to the same
That's not a climate thing. No, it's not a climate thing.
Just wondering.
That's hot. So in 2001, he passed No Child Left Behind. I'm an educator. I'm a teacher by trade. And so No Child Left Behind upset me. And that started me down the road of, is this the best my country can be? And in 2008, with the bailouts, with Obamacare, that anger started to erupt in me of, wow, what are we going to have left?
Sure.
Got involved with the Tea Party, and I've been down the road ever since. And once I started in the Tea Party movement, one of the things I started to discover were those libertarian philosophy. I read Atlas Shrugged. I started to do the readings of Murray Rothbard. His book, For New Liberty, completely changed my life. So if any of your listeners have never read Murray Rothbard or have never read A New Liberty by Murray Rothbard, his writing shows you a way to look at the world and understand what it could be like with less government. I mean, we say all the time, less government, and people say, well, what does that look like? Because they don't know any different. And when you read Rothbard, you really start to understand you can do things without government as a people, as a personal interaction with each other, and you don't have to have a higher authority telling you what you can and cannot do.
Let me ask you this. You said you're the head of the Cincinnati Tea Party, right? By the way, I think this is the second Cincinnati Tea Party event that I've been to.
Yeah, you came last year.
It was absolutely fun. Well, I'm here again. It was so fun last year, and it's great connecting with like-minded individuals, and you really do get a renewed sense of, yes, we have a chance to save the Republic, which is why I'm here, which is why I do what I do. But let me ask you this question. Do you often come into contact with people that will say, you're with the Tea Party? Mm-hmm. Oh, my gosh. Mm-hmm. You carry guns, you love Jesus, and you want no government whatsoever. Does that come up pretty often, or?
Yeah, well, I work in a school. It's a 100% African-American school. So I actually have to keep my political philosophies to myself sometimes. But a lot of times I'll talk about my philosophy without using that word Tea Party. And when people realize, I had an op-ed in the Cincinnati Enquirer a couple weeks ago, and a lot of my friends saw it in my school. And it kind of got me out of the closet, so to speak. And so we started to have that conversation like, okay, so I read your op-ed, and I didn't disagree with a thing you said.
Really?
And then they read, okay, president of the Cincinnati Tea Party. And it kind of started that conversation of Tea Party has been connotated so negatively in the media. But then when you start to really unwrap what it means, that people go, I cannot disagree with a thing
Well,
you
what
said.
are some of the big issues, though, that people say, you know what? Yes, definitely on X, on Y, on Z, on A. Oh, my gosh, yes, we're batting 100 right. I mean, what are some of the big issues that people say, I was skeptical of the Tea Party, but after I read your op-ed piece, I can't really disagree with that.
When I dropped that $18 trillion number, the
that's
federal
kind
debt,
of a biggie.
no one can argue with that. And no one can say that's a good thing. No one can say the money that we're taking away from our kids that they haven't even earned yet is a good thing.
Sorry to interrupt, but is that resonating with people? Because when I say, you realize our government's almost $18 trillion in debt, most people go, yeah, so what's your point? I don't have to pay that. It's not my debt.
Well, when I say to them, you owe $136,000.
If they pay taxes.
Yeah, well, yeah. No, I think it's every citizen in the nation.
Is it up that much now?
I think it's huge,
Jeez.
a huge amount of money. When you personalize it and say, could you write that check? They're like, no, I couldn't write that check.
I'm not Rusty Humphreys, so I can't.
And one of the things, too, that really resonates with people that I talk to is Social Security. Because everyone in our generation has known from the beginning of our life, Social Security, we're not going to have any of it. Nothing. So I think that's why the libertarian push has started with our generation, because we know that government isn't going to work for us.
All right, Libertarian Girl, let me ask you a question. Now, libertarian push, that's a big phrase right here, but when I initially thought libertarian, I thought uppercase L, an actual party that people actually bring people up to, to run. But that, for me, and this may be different for both of you, that's not what it is. For me, it's an ideology of freedom, of liberty. If it doesn't pick my pocket or break my leg, I don't care. And that's what liberty or libertarianism and liberty is really about.
There is a political party that bases their platform on libertarianism, and libertarianism is about very simple principles of justice, peace, prosperity, and your natural rights. So above all else, it's about liberty, and it's something that you need to distinguish between philosophy and party, because you can be a libertarian and you can be a part of any political party or no political party.
Sure, like a Ron Paul or a Rand Paul. Libertarians that are Republicans.
Exactly.
This area of Cincinnati is one of the most Republican areas, I think, in the country for Republican votes. Butler County, Ohio, where we live, up the northern county above Hamilton, above Cincinnati, it's as red as you can get. Red county. And a lot of us have realized that those Republican ideals haven't quite cut it for us. And there's a big movement in our community. We call it little L libertarians. I mean, we're not Libertarian Party. We're Libertarian ideals. So we have really pushed those libertarian ideals into the Republican Party. And a lot of us have been starting to take over the party in Butler County, Hamilton County, where we are here in Cincinnati. And it's really started to make a difference. It's really started to freak out the establishment.
Well, and that would be my next question there. And you've somewhat answered it, but let me ask you to expand upon it a little bit. Is the Republican Party the best vehicle to make the most amount of change? Instead of having a third party where you try to run somebody up against a John Boehner in the general election, is it best to try to primary John Boehner out, or anybody like John Boehner or Rhino, whatever you want to call him? Is the Republican Party the best vehicle to make the most amount of change for liberty?
You want to take that one?
Come on, Liberty Girl. What do you think? Libertarian Girl.
Yep,
you first. Go for it.
So I definitely think that's true.
Well, you're a registered Republican, so of course you would say that.
And
I am too.
But the thing is you're never going to get Democrats to agree on economic issues. I agree with Democrats on a few things. On national security, we feel like we need more civil liberties. On those issues, we can agree. But on economics, you will never get Democrats to cut pensions. You will never get pension reforms to come from Democrats. That's something that you need Republicans for. The only way you're going to get economic reform is through Republicans. So I think that is the best route. And unfortunately, what we've seen in Ohio is that the Republican Party has gone after the Libertarian Party. So
That's a good story. Why don't you tell that?
So Charlie Earl, he was running against Governor Kasich, and he no longer is on the ballot because his signatures were challenged by the Republican Party. So he got taken off the ballot, and they passed different petitioning laws to require them to get more signatures, which made it very difficult for them to get on the ballot to begin with. So I think the Republican Party is the best option, although, and you can speak more to this about the state of the Republican Party in Ohio right now.
So, like I said, it's really Republican around here. And people are proud of that R, and they're still cling to that R. So you asked if a third party was the best way to go, and I can't see that happening because the infrastructure is there, the people are there, it's all there. We just need to turn that tide and make that Republican Party reflect what we believe, because a party it's just like what it says, it's a party, so it's actually the people that are at the party that make the difference.
I like that.
So if it's really
a little corny, but I like it.
I'm a second grade teacher, so I have to keep it light, but it's really, if the real people who show up believe the ideals of the little L libertarian ideals, then we can change the Republican Party.
The one thing that I have a big problem with, and I'm not a third party guy. I really am infiltrate the Republican Party and take it over the ground up, especially at the primary level. I mean, you have the Matt Bevins of the world. I mean, that's how Ted Cruz got into office, and I'm a big Ted Cruz fan. And so when we get into a position of a John McCain or another Mitt Romney was good but at the same time, I had to exactly. She's doing something with her finger in her mouth. But at the same time, I had to go into the booth with my nose held, and then nose. So I mean,
you did that?
Yeah, we all did.
You did the lesser of two evils.
Yeah. Well,
so do you know about Central Committee?
Tell me about it.
So every voting precinct in the nation has a precinct executive, and they're called different names: precinct executive, central committeemen. Every precinct has an elected representative to each party: the Democrat Party, the Republican Party, the Libertarian Party.
I had True the Vote on my program not too long ago talking about that.
This is the biggest key to taking over and changing the Republican Party, Democrat Party, either one. And we've done this push here in Southwest Ohio. We've been pushing it hard, because if you get those people in place in the Central Committee seats, then those are the people that endorse the candidates. So if you get that liberty-minded person running for commissioner, for state rep, for township trustee, whatever you're doing, if you have enough votes in the room, those are the people that get on that slate card that get mailed to every single house in the township, in the county, whatever it is. So you have to take a look. If you don't know who your central committee person is, and if you don't know who yours is, you should, because it should be you.
All right. First,
no
she
pressure.
gives me a hard time for pulling the lever for Mitt Romney, which I deserve, and at the same time, no, people need to get more involved. I mean, that's the
at the local level.
At the local level,
right.
Yeah. And it's not just we need to infiltrate the Republican Party from the ground up. We need to infiltrate everything from the ground up, and getting people more involved.
And those congressional races, the presidential race, they're the shiny object. We have to get in the dirt. We have the grass. Yeah. We have to get in the grassroots. I mean, we have to be those people that run for those dog catcher positions, and then we have to, build the bench.
Sure.
So we get those people up into the higher offices, and it'll take a while.
I mean, run for a position, and then eliminate that position if you can. I mean, there is a Libertarian Party candidate that ran for some
running for president, then I'm eliminating the executive branch.
I will vote for that.
I was partially kidding.
No, but there was a local Libertarian Party candidate, and this is the highest percentage a Libertarian Party candidate has ever gotten. He got like 34% because he was running for some like water commissioner or something, some ridiculous position that got paid like $40,000 a year, and he said, I will run for this position, and in 2 years I will eliminate this office.
And did he?
He ran on that platform, and he got the highest percentage a Libertarian Party candidate had ever gotten.
But he didn't get elected.
That's because he ran the Libertarian Party.
Well,
that'll do it.
Going back to the presidency, I often thought about, what if you had a candidate from any political party who said, you know what, I will make one executive order and only one to eliminate all further executive orders.
Wow, that's deep.
Think about it. From here on out, executive orders are outlawed.
Well, what would stop the next president from just saying
he's not allowed to make executive orders? No, because he wouldn't be allowed to make an executive order.
Does executive order dictate in the Constitution in any way?
Yeah, so there's as it's been ruled by the court. I remember Mike Lee with some sort of committee hearing with, I don't know, some guy on the left on the hot seat saying there's 3 levels of executive orders. One being executive orders inside the executive branch, saying everybody inside the executive branch has to show up for work 10 minutes earlier. Then there's one that's outside the branch. There's a whole different level. But to answer your question, no, it's not inside the United States Constitution. But then again, so is the Department of Education.
No,
so
it is
is the EPA. So is insert a lot of things that are not in Article 1, Section 8.
Agreed.
So, all right, Libertarian Girl, got to wrap this up, but I will let you have the last word.
So I just want to say that right now we have a really great opportunity to reach so many people all over the world because of how interconnected everything is right now. And
Sure, social media,
and
all that other stuff.
I know that it's frustrating, and I know that it can be really depressing sometimes, but I just want everyone to get in there and get involved on the local level, get involved on social media, do whatever you can to spread the message.
And if you can give the Cincinnati Tea Party information out there, too. 'Cause
Sure.
This is one of, sorry, local tea parties, but this is probably my favorite tea party out there. So.
Yeah, we're at
along with Rattle With Us up in Michigan, but they don't do enough.
Yeah, Cincinnati
Sorry.
Tea Party is like an umbrella organization. So we've got 5 or 6 really local groups, and we support them, we help them, we promote them. But CincinnatiTeaParty.org is our website, and feel free to check it out. We post almost daily information going on here in the tri-state area.
Marianne and Ann, it's been a pleasure. I appreciate it. Thanks for coming on the Clarkcast. Same time next year?
Sure, we'll be here.
All right, more when we come back. Don't go anywhere.